most people need help," Ava said, picking up several of the tissues that Hannah dropped on the floor. "Is there anything specific you need right now?" "I don't know." Hannah stared at her with a blank look, as many did when Ava asked the question. Still, she asked instead of taking over. That, too, would come later. "My sister is upstairs, but she wanted to be alone. Joe, my brother-in-law, was trying to drive to the site." "Oh, no," Ava muttered. On the drive into Fort Worth, Ava had passed the remains of the wreck along a lonely stretch of highway. Red flares dotted the road, dividing drivers from the tragedy strewn in broken glass and bits of metal across the asphalt, off the shoulder, and into the darkened farmland. Ambulances were gone, and a tow truck was loading a mangled twist of metal that had once been the car of this newly engaged couple who believed their entire lives stretched before them. Ava shuddered to think if it were Sienna and Preston. Her daughter and fiancé had celebrated their engagement over the summer. Nothing would comfort these parents tonight, or for many nights to come. Such a loss was unfathomable, and Ava's heart felt a physical ache for this family, who was planning a wedding several hours earlier, but now would begin planning 2 funerals. "Seems someone stopped him from going, but I don't know where he is." Ava placed her hand on Hannah's shoulder. "Well, I'm available for whatever you need. The team has helped make funeral arrangements. We can organize food, and we've started memorial funds in some cases. We can do a little or a lot. Just let me know what's needed." The woman cried again. "Thank you. I can't believe we're talking about this. Their engagement announcement was just 5 hours ago. It doesn't seem possible that they're both gone." "Hannah," a voice called. Hannah hurried toward the entry and looked up the oak stairway. "She's asking for you," a woman said, peering down from the top. Hannah glanced at Ava as if asking permission. "I'll be down here if you need me, or you can call me in the morning. Try to help her rest for now." Hannah nodded and headed up the staircase with her jaw clenched and eyebrows rumpled. Ava had an awkward moment of not knowing what to do with herself. Her eyes swept the rooms that veined off on both sides of the foyer. She moved quietly to pick up cups, plates, and half-empty champagne glasses left over from the engagement party. She found the kitchen still disheveled and set to work. It was obvious the people living here usually kept the house neat and tidy. Having the house clean might not be noticed tomorrow, as shock slowly wore off, but a messy one would certainly add to the stress. After cleaning as much as she could, Ava made coffee and set out mugs beside the cream and sugar on the long tile bar. A few people came in here and there, though none spoke to her. Some took cups of coffee with mumbled thank yous. As Ava swept the dining area, she saw a small face under the table staring up at her. She jumped in surprise, then bent down to meet the dark eyes staring back at her. "Hello? What are you doing down there?" she said gently, despite the racing in her chest. A child beneath the kitchen table. It touched a memory she'd tried to bury long ago. "Come here, sweetie. I won't hurt you." The girl didn't move toward her, but she also didn't move away as Ava knelt on the floor and inched toward her. "How long have you been there? Would you like something to drink or eat?" The girl nodded. Ava reached for the little hands clenched around her knees. Finally, she coaxed the child out. The girl wrapped her arms around Ava's neck as she picked her up. Ava guessed she was about 5 years old, close to the age she'd been on a night when her childhood home had been the hub of a tragic gathering. No one had seen her hiding beneath a table as people talked about her mother's death. "Oh, no, I thought she was asleep," a woman said, flying toward the child. Ava handed her over, but the girl's dark eyes stared after Ava. "Thank you," Hannah said, standing in the doorway with her hands hanging from her sides as if too heavy to do